One of the questions that we're often asked when we respond is, what do we do with the press? Often during a human-caused disaster, it's a big story and everybody wants access, everybody wants to know what's going on, it's all over the news. And the press wants access often to a worship service, whether it's on Sunday morning or the first funeral service that may happen. What we advise is that it's okay to let the press be involved. The story that's going out is often a horrific story. And if the press is allowed to come into your worship space to film and record what's going on either in the vigil or a Sunday service or a memorial service, that the other part of the story is allowed to get out to the community. The story of the person who lost their life. And it just adds a balance. And so in our situation, what we decided was to let them in. And we found a very nice reporter who was a member of our community. He came in, he sat down with me, he walked me through kind of what the press in general was looking for, which is they want a video feed that they can take pictures from, and they want an audio feed, and then they would like to have interviews from folks who were coming out of the worship experience. What we decided was appropriate was that they could have the audio feed, because that was one camera mounted up in the balcony that captured everything that was happening up in the front of the church, but was not catching anyone's face who was in the congregation. The audio feed was an easy thing. They just tapped into our sound system and pulled the audio off of that. And then what we decided was that they could do interviews, but they needed to be outside the building, and that they needed the explicit permission of the folks who were being interviewed. Contrary to the popular belief that the press is sort of out to get you and will do anything to get a story, what we found in our situation was that the press was incredibly sympathetic to what had happened. They wanted to present the story with dignity and with grace, and they did a fantastic job. So if you have someone in your church who's connected to someone in the media, empower them to be that contact person for you. And if not, just find a reporter, or most likely they'll find you. And if you have a good feeling about them, then just sit down and work with them. They're not the enemy in this situation.